So I had a ton of questions asking me about my story highlight on how I polished resin. So I just thought I'd make another tutorial on it. So I have these goddesses that I made, and because of the nature of resin, it always shrinks slightly, and the flowers in it kind of made it bumpy at the bottom and they wouldn't stand up nicely. So I have to sand it, and I want to get that sanding base polished again. So I have my sanding belt outside. I've set up my vacuum to catch as much of the dust that I can, because resin dust is actually quite bad for the environment. It's like microplastic. I also, you could see there quickly, I'm wearing my full face respirator, so that means I don't get dust in my eyes, or I'm also not breathing it in, because that's super bad for your lungs. So that was just a pretty much a really rough sand to just get that first layer off. I have a bunch of wet and dry sandpaper here. This is going to make it a smoother finish. I just dunk it in the water to pretty much get them wet and flexible again, because it's wet and dry sandpaper. You're meant to do it wet, and also you don't have to wear your mask for this part because there's nothing that goes into the air, it stays in the water. So I started with 240 grit sandpaper. I got these from Bunnings, and some of the finer ones I actually got from Autobahn, because above 1200 grit I couldn't see any in Bunnings. So just moving it side to side and in circle motions. This next grit was 360, just dunking it in water. I don't have a sink in my studio, so I just have kind of buckets of water that I work from. I went from 360 to 600, and now I'm on 800, and then I'm going to 1200, 1500, then 2500 is what you'll see. You can get slightly higher sandpaper sets and sandpaper grits, and you can buy sets online if that helps on where to buy them. So this is the finest one now, and you can see that there's hardly any white resin coming off. After sanding them, I just like to wash them a little bit and dry them. Here you can see that they've been polished up to a nice smooth matte finish. Sorry, sanded, not polished. Now we're going to do the polishing. So this is car wax polish. Don't be like me, and please screw your bench grinder down to your table. I've been bugging my husband to do it, but yeah, it's not safe, so don't do that. So put the car wax polish just on the base, and then this is a cloth wheel adaptation that I kind of put together and just polishes it up. I wash it afterwards to get the remaining wax residue stuff off, and then dry it. This is in my kitchen because we're all artists, and who doesn't work from their kitchen, right? And this is the finished product pretty much. I did some sanding on the sides as well, because I didn't align my things slightly. Oh, quickly, look how cool that rose looks. So I actually sanded halfway through into the rose there to make it flat. So yeah, with your goddesses, and if you don't align the slits properly, you can have little sharp bits. So the polishing kind of just like takes away any sharp bits without having to sand it as well. So yeah, I hope that answers some of your questions. Hopefully that was helpful. Ask away in the comments, and I'll reply as much as I can.